They said, fight a real boxer. They said, fight someone your size. They said, fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed fighters for me to fight.
Yeah. Good. Right hand. Good. Right hand. Good. Right hand. That's the shot. See? If he comes in there, that's it over. Do you see what I mean? You don't have to do that or come out. Just boom, drop the chin. Good. Left hook high now and then just roll my right hook. Good. Too low.
He was that, oh, this happened, that happened. So it's the name of my career is criticizing me and then making excuses after I do the impossible or no way it's gonna happen.
Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua are both clearly working very hard since they only have 4 weeks left until their fight. Jake is seen working out very hard and sparring very hard. He is taking this fight as the hardest challenge of his career. Joshua, on the other hand, looks strong, focused, and smart, which shows that he's not playing around with Jake at all. Their planning shows that they are disciplined, determined, and fully committed.
I think that's good. Don't look for nothing. Now step around him. Upper body. Keep a rhythm now. Keep a rhythm. Don't wait on him. Now you're waiting on him, mate.
A lot of people in the boxing world are making statements about the upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Everyone in the sport seems to have something to say. One of the most serious threats was given by Joey Knight. He thinks Jake is only taking this fight because it will get him a lot of attention, make videos go viral, and have a big audience around the world. Joey says that Jake knows more about the business side of fighting than most people, and he knows that this fight brings in a lot of money. However, Joey also said that Jake is going too far to make money. When Jake stepped in to face Anthony Joshua, he said it was different from his other fights because Joshua is so experienced and physically dangerous. This person really is a heavyweight force. Their punches can make or break a career in an instant. Jake was told by Joey that if he gets hurt badly, all the money, fame, and attention won't matter.
A lot of cash, maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag, or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions, and I've sparred with loads of Southern area champions. And doing that enabled me to understand what level I can reach in boxing and what level I can't reach. And some people might say, well, Jake Paul's clearly more ambitious than you. There's no reason for him to be, because he's not a better pound-for-pound boxer than me. So there really is no reason. And that really does make me think that one of two things have happened. Jake Paul has never, ever had serious elite sparring anywhere.
Adam Catterall and Nick Pete, two analysts, didn't waste any time pointing out how far apart the two guys were. Their response makes it clear that Joshua is too big and experienced for Jake Paul. Both of them notice that this contest won't be like a competition, but more like a sparring practice. These people say that Joshua should be in charge of the whole fight. The difference in size is huge, the difference in power is clear, and the experience level is so low that it's not even worth comparing. One of them says that this meeting is against the rules of boxing and shouldn't happen. One thing is clear from what they said. There is only this fight because Jake Paul wants it to happen. From their point of view, Joshua has nothing to prove or win from this event. He also doesn't need it badly. They think the whole thing is more about making money than having a real sporting fight. Joshua usually competes in a certain level of competition, but this fight is not that level. In and of itself, that shows that the match is more for fun than real competition.
Climbed the domestic rankings in America, and he might even make top 50. He might make top 50 if you pick him right, great. But if you put him in with meritocracy and put him in rankings and actually make him fight the number 49 guy in America or try and climb up, he's going to get found out because he's a nutter novice. Now I know, I speak from experience here. I did an exhibition bout with Shane Neary, a former world champion, and I was fucking 2 or 3 stone bigger than him. I was 5 inches bigger than him, very similar to AJ and Jake Paul. And I was a novice. I'd sparred and moved around my whole life, but I'd never been in a competitive fight. And we did it for charity. And we did 3 rounds. And at the end of it, I realized, and I knew it going in, that Shane Neary controlled pretty much every second of those 3 minutes. Pretty much every second he controlled. He put the pressure on me in 1 round, he hit me with the body shot in the 2nd round, and he caught everything I threw at him in the 3rd round when he said, go on, try and knock me out. Caught everything. And, you know, in a similar vein, Anthony Joshua controls every second of this fight that he wants to control, right, because he comes from a certain level of stock that Jake Paul can't shortcut his way to. This fight is happening because Jake Paul sees the name Anthony Joshua and has probably gone. It's that conversation in the schoolyard, isn't it? What would you do for what would you do for $1 million? What would you do for 2 million? What would you do for 10 million? What would you do for 100 million? Would you let Anthony Joshua punch you in the face for 100 million notes? Yeah, I fucking would. Absolutely, AJ. Step up, mate. Take your best shot. Wake me up in the hospital. Cha-ching. Isn't Jake Paul doing the same thing? Getting 100 million quid off Netflix to let Anthony Joshua punch him in the face.
Right. Apart from whatever it is, 50, 60, 70 million, whatever the figure is for Anthony Joshua, I only see...
Wade, who hosts the podcast The Wade Concept, goes into even more detail about why the matchup seems hard to make sense of. He thinks that this fight doesn't make sense from any point of view. Jake Paul does not have the top-level knowledge, timing, punch resistance, or power that someone like Anthony Joshua naturally has. Joshua has faced top boxers, heavyweights, and world champions. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has only fought a few professional fights and has never met someone as physically strong as Joshua. Wade thinks that Paul is doomed to fail when Joshua is around. There is too big of a skill gap, and there is too much danger. The truth about the game stays the same, even if Paul is sure of himself, driven, and brave. Wade is adamant that trying to surprise a bigger fighter won't work in this case either. Joshua has been fighting for a long time and is too smart to fall for easy tricks. Also, Paul has never dealt with someone as strong as Joshua. From WD's point of view, the game only makes sense in theory. Wade also says that even the advertising for this fight seems forced. The idea of two big people going up against each other is good for advertising, but it doesn't add anything to the game itself. His thoughts are similar to those of many experts, who have said that the fight is less about competition and more about show.
Ego, whatever is making Jake take this fight. And I don't think it's healthy for him at all. I think this is going to be one-way traffic. I think AJ is going to hurt him very badly. And speaking of the insanity of this thing, here is what the first line is. Jake as a plus 800. I have a feeling that's going to shift even more toward AJ at minus 1500. Because again, how could you even see Jake winning this fight? Where is the possibility for Jake to actually get it done? I mean, look at this picture from them playing paintball a couple of years ago, I guess, or I don't know if it was paintball, but some sort of airsoft like gunfighting. But look at the difference in the size. And I get it, you know, size doesn't just win fights, but AJ doesn't just have the size. He is more experienced at the highest level. He has fought guys that are smaller than him and are more experienced and better than Jake is. Again, Alexander Usyk twice. What better experience? I know Usyk is southpaw, but what better experience to get you prepared to fight a smaller guy than to fight the best, smallest guy coming up to heavyweight in Usyk that you could find? Yes, AJ is plotty and he's maybe a little stiff, and maybe his chin is not what it used to be, but that's still Anthony Joshua. So Nikisa Badarian did an interview with Sky Sports, Jake Paul's manager and co-founder of MVP. He had some things to say about the fight. Obviously, they're going to do a massive press tour around this thing. Let's take a look and listen at why Nikisa, maybe a hot take, says that Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is more winnable for Jake Paul than Gervonta Davis would have been.
How dangerous is this for Paul?
This is a more dangerous fight than Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's a more winnable fight than Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled.
That is a fucking hot take. That's I don't know if that's crazy, but it's a hot take. Let's hear his reasoning.
Gervonta was small, fast, super skilled. Joshua is big, heavy puncher, but not as evasive. So I think if Jake has the right game plan, he has a pretty good shot of winning this fight.
That's crazy. Now, first off, a winnable fight with Gervonta Davis. It was an exhibition. So, wins and losses, we weren't really going to be able to count there. But saying that it is a risky but more winnable fight, it's so hard to get on board with even the thought of Jake winning this. Like, there's only really, I think, one, maybe two avenues where Jake possibly can in some way win it. But when Nikisa says it's a more dangerous but also more winnable, the only thing my mind jumps to is Jake is going to have to stand in front of Anthony Joshua, a literal destroyer at heavyweight, a literal one punch, send you to the hospital, potentially end your career puncher at heavyweight, and take the risk of eating that punch just to land a punch that potentially could knock AJ out. That is why the risk and reward factor, I have to think Nikisa's talking.
Lawrence Okolie, a professional boxer, adds another point of view to the conversation. He gives Jake Paul practice tips to help him get ready for Anthony Joshua, but he also says that Joshua isn't the kind of fighter who automatically goes for a knockout in the first round. Joshua's style is often slow, deliberate, and based on reading his opponent before making a move. Oki says this is why the speed of the fight depends on how good the other person is. He makes it clear, though, that the mismatch still exists even if Joshua doesn't come in with the goal of knocking out the opponent quickly. Jake Paul would have to slow down the fight, take a lot of hits, and deal with pressure he has never felt before. Okolie thinks that Paul has no choice but to wait for Joshua to finish, but Joshua's natural strength and skill are still too much for anyone to handle.
That's one I'm very difficult to know. And then number two, it's like, I want him to feel what it's like to be in there with a big, strong, world-class heavyweight before the day, because I don't want him to get hit with the first jab and it's a whole new sensation. So, and you never know. I think there's some game plans that he could cause a bit of trouble. Do you know what I mean? But
no, I'm gonna stop you.
No,
you tell me now. Then Lawrence Okolie, former multi-time world champion. I say it from serious because I think Jake is brilliant for the sport and what he's done for especially the women's game and what he is. I think he's fantastic and he's showing other boxers coming through. Look what I've got from this. So you tell me now, in terms of a game plan, what you think.
There's three I see. One of which is, bear in mind, AJ is not I'm going to come out and get this over in one round kind of guy. He does do it, don't get me wrong, but that's based off of other people's work. So when you see AJ versus Ngannou and him were having a fight before AJ started landing the great right hands off of Ngannou going southpaw, I don't think AJ's first instinct is to go in and go double jump, uppercut, left hook to the foot and rip into people. He likes to box. He's a natural boxer. So I think he's going to be just going through stuff. He hasn't been in the ring for over a year. He's going to be, popping jabs, slipping.
Television stars Dason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara paint a more dramatic picture of what's going on. They say that the fight is dangerously uncertain just because of how far apart the two fighters are. Their main concern is not the outcome, but the danger that comes with it. They think Joshua will be told to hold back so that Paul doesn't get hurt more than necessary. They are worried that a heavyweight punch, even if it is thrown with control, can still do a lot of damage to someone who isn't used to that much power. They make you wonder if the fight should even happen with such a big difference in size. Their response shows how dangerous the situation really is, which is something that casual fans might not realize.
I don't know, mate.
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah,
I genuinely think it's dangerous.
Well, but that's
putting a world heavyweight champion,
and then the cynic,
at the top 4 or 5 fighters in the world.
Then the cynic in me tells me,
who's never had a proper fight.
Right, the cynic in me straight away goes, I think AJ's probably going to be told, and I don't know this, don't go heavy on him the first.
No. He can't afford to do that. Anthony Joshua can't afford to do that.
Okay, well, that's where I'm wrestling with my own mind right now. You asked me the question. How do I feel about it? I don't know what to make of it, mate. I seriously don't know what to make of it. I seriously don't.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
I'll watch it because...
I don't know whether I will, Jay. Honestly, I probably will close the vote. Right now, I don't know whether I will. I don't know whether I will, honestly. I didn't watch... Was it Jake Paul that fought? Who did he fight? Mayweather. No, Mayweather. I didn't watch that. Who fought Mayweather? Oh, it was. I tell you, it was. Who was the MMA fighter?
Logan Paul. The one that you didn't know the name of, yeah.
Logan Paul, right?
He fought Floyd.
I didn't watch that one either, right?
I know, but Jake Paul's got a bit more boxing credentials. He has, because he.
What about McGregor? Who did McGregor fight? Did he fight someone? McGregor? Have I made that up?
Yeah, I don't know. Where's your head at?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
they all
it's all over the gaff. You gave Andy your number, and you gave him the talk.
His name's Adam.
Adam, sorry. You gave Adam the number.
No.
You said 03717 22
I gave him the sports.
You gave him the sports number.
No, but I don't.
Get your head out.
No, I don't know. I don't know whether I will watch it, actually.
Analysts also talk a lot about Anthony Joshua's mental state going into the game. Their argument is that Joshua isn't taking this fight seriously as a fight, which they think he should. When a beginner-level boxer faces a world-class heavyweight, there is no reason to be afraid or plan ahead strategically. That this makes Joshua's problem different. Anyone who sees the fight go longer than 2 rounds will say mean things about Joshua. The public thinks he should end the fight right away because that's what happens when a master athlete meets a newbie. Many people will say Joshua didn't do well if he plays around, is patient, or doesn't put pressure on himself. Paul, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. He can say that he fought an Olympic gold medalist and past world champion, even if he gets knocked out right away.
Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much you gonna pay me? It's on Netflix? Hold up. I can fight this guy who, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct. And you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where's this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys. If Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition, and it's brilliant. Because for Jake, okay, cool, man. Got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon. He's going to land on the stars. And just to be absolutely clear, Jake,
That's all for this video today. Watch out. Until the next time.